mentioned last year, the gematria, the Rosh Hashanah of Elul, and the Gdoli, the Gdoli, the Rishonim say, it's Zman HaTeshuva, Teshuva Relayva, Teshuva Lechem. These are the days from the beginning of Elul till Yom Kippur, 40 days. There's another Rosh Hashanah, which is not maybe, unfortunately, too well accepted from being known. The Rosh Hashanah of Elul in Megillas Esther. Everybody know what it is? Ish l're'ehu u'matonish le'amirin Rosh Hashanah Elul. So Anila Doidi V'Doidi Eli is nice. In Odom HaMokim, yeah. More people are into that. The Ish l're'ehu, the Ben Odom L'Chavero, that could sometimes be a problem. I want to tell you a Meister, a few Meister from our Gdoli, the real Gdoli, and how they were Messiachas to the Ish l're'ehu. You probably heard of the Brisker Rob, the Rob of the Grid. Yes. He had in his house $1 million. Well, Shabbos. I remember I was Zoyah to be there one Rosh Hashanah. And by the way, the Brisker Rob made Kiddush before Kiddush. And not only because he was an old man, I got a piece of cake from him. So I got Shirayim from the Brisker Rob. And another thing the Brisker Rob did, I don't know if people are knowing that way, there is Birchas Kohanim, and the minhag is that the Kohanim wash their hands before the Birchas Kohanim. And the minhag is that a Levi is the one that goes and washes the hands of the Kohanim. And the Brisker Rob was a Levi, and he went and washed the hands of a Bachar, she was an American boy. He washed his hands. The boy told me he felt so funny, Brisker Rob washing his hands. But that's the minhag Israel, so Brisker Rob did it too. Yeah. Well, let me tell you a nice, a very important lesson. One Leil Shabbos, a younger man comes to the Brisker Rob's house to daven. To daven in the room there. There was a little bed over there. He came a little boy, a 3-year-old boy. All right, and the little boy fell asleep on the bed. After they finished davening, this younger man wants to wake up his kid to take him home. So the Brisker Rob said, why are you waking him up? But he's sleeping. Pick him up and carry him. So this Shrumi younger man said, no, we're machmer, we don't carry on Shabbos. So the Brisker Rob said these words, not to carry is a chumrah. You want to be machmer on his cheshbon? Because you want to be machmer, you got to wake the kid up. You don't make chumras on somebody else's cheshbon. No? That's the real verse. Chumras, very nice, but not on somebody else's cheshbon. No? You know, David HaMelech says in Shilon, "V'amerchi teilas v'lo ish." And like a worm. I suppose it's a gather of anivus, teilas. Teilas is really small, but there are things that are even smaller than that. And the mola, right? An ant. Why did the doctor choose teilas? So they can show nothing teilas will eat. So it's the same mahalach. there are people that are very, very, very nicely, they're marking not to eat this, not to eat that, shash teloyim, you know. So they don't eat anything. But some of these, unfortunately, people have nothing to eat at their last, but they have no problem with eating up people alive. So Avraham Melech, till last what eats, don't eat me. He was in Yeshua at one time by somebody, and the person asked him, he said he has a son that runs in the yeshiva, if you can please take an envelope and deliver it to his son. Yeah, no problem. The shul comes to Eibrak, Beinas Doran, he asked the Bacher to show him where the room is of that boy. He had to give him a letter, so the Bacher said, give it to me, I'll take it. No, he said, I was asked to deliver it, A, and B, it's probably be a bigger covet for the Bacher to feel great that the Rashi brought him the letter. Okay, they come to the room, and Rav Shmuel takes off his shoes. The Bacher says, Rebbe, why are you taking off your shoes? He says, it's Beinas Doran now. There might be a boy taking a nap inside. If I walk in with shoes, it might wake him up. So he took off his shoes. He shouldn't Khalila wake up somebody that might be sleeping. Huh? The real Ishlereyu, huh? And we have Al-Khashu Bacham, the Dom, and a lesson to be learned, you know, you're sitting with other boys and be very careful not to do something that might bother the other boy. Unfortunately, you're not very clean laundry, don't leave it hanging around, it might bother the other guy, you know. Yeah? And so on. And noise and things like that. I was by the Levaya, day after Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, the Brisker Road, Yerushalayim, and it was very crowded. I was standing right behind the Mashgiach of Chatzkel Levenstein. And as you know, young boys, everybody wants to get closer to the meter. So Chatzkel saw one boy pushing another boy, trying to get ahead. She started yelling at him. How could you push somebody? How could you push him? Different look. I saw Tanya Maisa. There was a big guy in Europe, Menachem Zemba, who was killed in Warsaw, shot by the Yisraelim. And there was no Levaya, somebody took him and buried him in the back of some house. Years later, they found him, and they brought him here to Israel. And there was a big Levaya. Gdoli, we never had a Levaya. There was a big Levaya in Tel Aviv. They brought thousands of people went. After the Levaya, we waited online to get on the bus. The buses in those days were little buses, like school buses, you know, until they came those days. There was a big line of 100 people maybe. I was standing right behind the stipler in the sun. Somebody saw the stipler standing there. He came running and said, maybe the Rebbe will come to the front. could take an hour to wait till everybody gets on the bus. The disciple said these words. He said, if you'll ask everybody standing on line if they're moichel on their place, then we'll go. And the Chaim said, the Gilm Nutzmachen Gadlon, and a big yisod. If you're waiting online, whoever is waiting online has a schus to go according to where he's standing online. If you try to go in front of him, which means he'll have to wait another few minutes, you're a gozel of his mouth. Yeah? Whether it's a line for the bus, a line at the bank, wherever. And unfortunately, people do that. But it's there, you see, the disciple waited and waited about an hour or two and finally got on the bus. Yes, of a healer that he's mevatel on this place, then we can go. I was Oimed, I have Baruch Hashem, a little grandson that's beginning to learn Gemara. I asked him, what do you